water. 9, maybe I am the rain. 9, maybe I am the sun. 9, maybe I am the home. 9, maybe I am where the worms go when it stops raining. Or maybe they don't go anywhere. 10, maybe they just sit in the dewy grass with all their worm friends and enjoy the good weather.
Hello again. This poem is titled The Heart, and it's for my siblings. Lately, when I think of home, I picture you hugging me and a lunch in which you steal 10 fries off of my plate and you laugh, so full of the sea, all waves and crashing mischief. My body has no language to say I miss you. It is always translated as I love you. Sometimes longing and love are the same. Sometimes you need no words to bridge the distance. And the distance is a fragile thing that I worry will turn into a gaping chasm if we acknowledge its presence. Goodbye, gentle longing. I have no place for you here. Soon, I will be home. Thank you. Up next, we have a special treat. We have a group piece from Kate Giffen and Lydia Weinberger.
I also came back. This poem is dedicated to our families and the blessings and the wonderful lessons they taught us.
There are stories that become our identity, creating a makeshift holy book shaping who we love,
Who we choose.
how we build our lives with another.
I call my dad the same day I meet my partner and tell him I finally met a nice Jewish boy. And he tells me,
It's just in time for the high holidays.
my mother tells me that she's afraid. Afraid for another wedding with only the bride's family in attendance, that being the story of my father when he married a goy.
If they've already put you through hell, is damnation a threat? My father and my grandfathers are preachers, steeped in the ancient word of the rescuing love of an almighty God. I wish I could say that love extended through the people who claim to worship him, that my mother found acceptance in her community when her brain was trying to kill her, but all she found was judgment, poisoned words. And so my father, the man who built the very church he preached in, ripped up our roots, moved us across state lines to find a good doctor. God speaks through fire, so why are we so afraid of burning bridges?
My dad's sister tells my mother, you know it will be a pity if you marry Joel because you know our kids won't be able to play together.
How quickly generations divide when they do not want you born.
I asked my dad how he made the choice between my mother and his family, and he tells me there was never a choice. If her blood was not good enough for that family, then they would make their own.
By the time you love them, it is already too late to let go of a life crafted around devotion.
My grandfather, skeptical of religion, tells me when he met my grandma at age 14, she was brought down on a cloud by angels. I have often wondered if the family he made with her is his religion.
My mother tells me about the way her grandfather dug deep into the dirt after his love died and buried a bucket full of pills. They couldn't save her, he cried, blue eyes, bitter and broken. He died 6 months later. Sometimes, when I think of the one I love dying, I compose my own eulogy. When I think of them alive, I compose my own lifetime. My mother tells me that kindness lasts longer than passion.
My father tells me no human will ever be worthy of the love I can give, but I will give them my all.
Love them through the hard and the soft, No better way than the one our families taught us.
Welcome back to the stage, the rest of the Wordsmiths, to say our final goodbyes to our lovely audience for the evening. This is Quentin Okoro, Janae Gamera, Kate Giffen, and I'm Lydia Weinberger. Thank you all so much.
Wow. Is this on? What an outstanding performance. How many came here today expecting to be greeted by such creativity and talent at a Diversity Awards program? Let's give another round of applause for light shining on me right here, so I can't see you very well. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, very good. I am Felicia Washington. I'm Vice-Chancellor for Workforce Strategy, Equity, and Engagement here at Carolina, and I am delighted to welcome you to our 11th Annual Diversity Awards. This program, this awards event, is being hosted by the University Office for Diversity and Inclusion, and as a reminder, the mission of this office, I think, has partially been exhibited by the opening performance today, but is to build understanding across differences, to create conditions to ensure the equitable and educational benefits of diversity, and to cultivate a welcoming and supportive environment for all students, faculty, and staff, positioning them to their greatest potential while matriculating here at Carolina. We see these attributes in the awardees that you'll get to meet and hear from later in the program. The annual Diversity Awards ceremony recognizes individuals who have dedicated significant contributions of time and effort toward advancing an inclusive climate for excellence in teaching, research, public service, and academic endeavor. The criteria for the award are demonstration of outstanding advocacy for diversity, equity, and inclusion at the interpersonal, unit, and institutional levels. Commitment to the advancement of diversity and inclusion at UNC Chapel Hill and/or in the community through research, teaching, service, and collaborative partnerships. Commitment to creating a culture of inclusion within areas where the awardees have influence, and we all have influence in spaces. And successful implementation of initiatives that cultivate, advance, and/or model diversity and inclusion within the entire Carolina community. So you'll get to see awardees who have exhibited one or more of these criteria. This year, the 6-member Diversity Awards Committee included faculty and staff from multiple schools and divisions within the university and was chaired by Dr. Renee Alexander. A number of committee members I know are here because I saw you out during the reception. If you are here when I call your name, please stand, and we'll recognize everyone at the end with an applause. I'm having trouble reading here. Let's see, please stand to be recognized if you're here, and I've seen you. J.C. Field, who is the building director at the Eddie Smith Field House. Dr., I don't know if the lights are coming up for this or not. I'll keep reading. Dr. Eric Hodges, who is an associate professor in the School of Nursing. Dr. Nadia Korobova, an associate director in University Career Services. Dr. Devetta Holman-Nash, who serves as the Resiliency and Student Support Programs Coordinator in Student Wellness. And Meredith Tozer, who is the Executive Assistant in the Office of the Chancellor. Thanks to each and every one of you for your time and commitment in reading those 119 nominations this year, for your engagement and for your support in this program. I also want to thank everyone who took the time to submit nominations. We had a record number this year. Thank you for taking the time to salute the extraordinary people in our community who are helping to enrich it every day. As evidenced by this event, Carolina continues to value the promotion of diversity and inclusion on our campus. Even though we live in a world, and it doesn't take us long to reflect on it, where the values that we have are not always felt and exhibited in the world, please know that for the 4th consecutive year, the university is a recipient of the Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award, the HEED Award from Insight Diversity Magazine. It is the oldest and largest diversity-focused publication in higher education. It's an honor to be recognized as a HEED awardee, which recognizes U.S. colleges and universities that demonstrate an outstanding commitment to diversity and inclusion. The award recognizes Carolina's efforts to epitomize inclusive excellence. The premise that diversity and inclusion are woven into the core of the institution and are essential to achieving excellence and success, while realizing the educational benefits of diversity. With pride, Carolina was featured along with other universities and colleges in the November 2018 issue of that publication. Finally, I would like to thank the staff of the University Office for Diversity and Inclusion for choosing this space of creativity, for making this event when we've come to that looks like we really are at a place where we are going to be fed, our souls are going to be fed, just in how it's all set up. I'd like to thank Victoria Boykin and Shireen Jenkins for all the planning that they have done, putting in long hours to make the event successful. So thank you for those of you. And then finally, our guest. I've met mothers and fathers and friends and other relatives who've come here to support our honorees. Thank you for giving of your time this afternoon when you could have been someplace else to make this a success. Before I hand over the podium to Gretchen Bellamy to present the awards, I'd like to call up a very special person who is with us. He'll tell you how long he's been in this very special position, but our Chancellor, Kevin Guskiewicz, will come and greet you.
Thank you, Felicia, and it is quite an honor to be here today celebrating with you at the 11th Annual Diversity Awards here at Carolina, something that I feel deeply about and am proud to say we will continue to lead in this space. I just had an opportunity to spend a long lunch meeting with Governor Roy Cooper. I drove back quickly from Raleigh to be here with you. And I updated the governor on several initiatives that I've been focused on over my first, to answer Felicia's question, I think we're coming up on about 12 weeks. I think it's 11 weeks and 4 days. But, and I am loving the role that I'm in just because of the people that I'm surrounded with and the support that I have felt. I shared with Governor Cooper a little bit about the listening and learning tours that I've been on. I've now visited 10 schools. I met with the summer school office this morning. I'm trying to hit probably 1 or 2 of these every other day, and I'm learning a lot. And I've been at Carolina for 23.5 years, and every time you think you know everything about this amazing place, I find that's just not quite the case, and I learn something new every day. 2 themes have been emerging through these listening and learning tours. 2 consistent themes have been emerging. One is the importance of diversity, inclusion, and equity on our campus. There's not been one of those listening and learning tours out with faculty, students, and staff where I have not heard about the importance of this. That Carolina must be a place in which everyone feels welcome, and we will not remain silent on this, going back to the first act of the performance today by the Wordsmiths, and I'm committed to this. The second theme that's emerged consistently throughout these listening and learning tours has been one around a culture of collaboration that exists here at Carolina that really makes us unique from just about any other university in the nation. And I really believe this to be true. We talk about Carolina being a place, as you walk around this campus a place of low stone walls. You know them, you've seen them. And I'd like to say that those low stone walls just don't define the physical space of our campus, but it actually describes and defines the culture in which we live in here. And I would just say that collaboration and diversity and inclusion go together. And the collaboration is only strong when it is diverse. We know that solving the grand challenges of our time and identifying the grand challenges of the future really requires diverse viewpoints and broadly speaking at the table for these conversations. Diversity opens the doors to challenge our thinking and consider these new perspectives that will allow us to become the leading global public research university that we aspire to be. Back in week 2 of my chancellorship, Felicia came by my office and said, I want to take you outside, I want to take you over, there's this really cool bus that's landed back behind Memorial Hall. And it was pouring down rain. We grabbed umbrellas and 4 or 5 of us ran out, and I got to tour the bus. This was the CEO Action Check Your Blind Spots